Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Karen, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that's come up a lot this past year, especially because there are a lot of students doing remote learning and all kinds of things like that, having to be way more independent. And that is one of the biggest reasons why it's so hard to get your kids to do their homework, not procrastinate, get to work, and actually be independent instead of avoiding work or doing work and not doing a very good job at it, or forgetting their assignments, not turning things in, and just staying on top of things. So if you have a child who appears to be not motivated when it comes to schoolwork, who struggles to get complex assignments done, or struggles to just keep all of their work together, you're definitely going to find this information helpful. So the thing is that at first glance, it's kind of like, well, why don't kids want to do their homework? Well, duh, it's homework. It's not that much fun. There are a lot of other things that kids would rather be doing besides their schoolwork. And a lot of people just kind of leave it at that and assume, well, it's just not a preferred task. They'd rather be watching TV, playing video games, playing outside, or doing whatever it is they enjoy doing aside from their schoolwork. But a lot of times it's not just a motivation issue, and something can appear to be, a lack of desire. Maybe they don't care about school. They don't see why it's important. It can present like a motivation issue when it's really something else. That something else is known as an executive functioning issue. So the thing about homework is that a lot of times the assignments that your children get from school require multiple steps, and those steps can appear overwhelming. Yes, there are a lot of things that we have to do on a day-to-day basis that aren't that much fun. But if you think about the things that you have to do that are kind of tedious, things that you have to get done because they benefit you in the long run, but you don't want to do them, the things that are easier to tackle, that are easier to stay on top of, are the things that are less overwhelming. If there aren't a lot of questions to answer in your head about what do I do first? How do I do this? If it's easier, you just do it and get it done. It's more likely that you're going to do that and not get stuck and avoid it. But if you have something that you are doing that is, it's not the most fun in the world to you, it has a lot of different steps, and you're not exactly sure where to start, and you're feeling kind of overwhelmed, well, we're a lot more likely to avoid those things, because if we have to make decisions about where to start and we're not exactly sure what to do, a lot of times that overwhelm can get in the way and we avoid it. Overwhelm and confusion lead to procrastination in many cases. So it's not just that it's not fun, or maybe it's not something that your kids want to be doing in the moment. A lot of times it's more of a struggle with figuring out how to actually tackle the task. So the ability to plan and use goal-directed behavior to get to a specific outcome, such as completing your homework assignment in a certain amount of time, knowing what steps to take and what order to take them, and how to problem solve during that process, that requires what's known as executive functioning skills. And a lot of times, if kids are having a hard time with executive functioning skills, they will avoid a lot of tasks that they have to do in their day-to-day lives because they're overwhelmed and they don't know where to start. And that presents as avoidance, maybe even defiance. Maybe some kids will show undesirable behaviors like throwing a tantrum or having an attitude when it comes to trying to get them to do their schoolwork. And a lot of times it's not that they don't care or that they don't think it's important or whatever. A lot of times it's just that they're so overwhelmed that they don't know where to start, and they're not really sure how to articulate that. So having a better understanding of what executive functioning skills are, if you have a child who does tend to avoid when it comes to schoolwork, getting clarity on what executive functioning is and specific skills that fall under that category can help you to diagnose the issue. And a lot of times it's not that your kids are lazy or unmotivated or defiant. It's just that they aren't exactly sure where to start and they just need some support with executive functioning. And once you take away that overwhelm, it's a lot easier to tease out all of those different things like motivation issues, behavior issues, all of those things. And it is also a lot easier to actually get your kids to do their homework, and not just homework, maybe any other thing that you are wanting them to do in their day-to-day lives. Clean their room, fold the laundry, take a shower every day. Those things that we take for granted, they require multiple steps. And you might not need to exert a lot of effort to think about the steps to take when you're brushing your teeth or taking a shower. But if your child hasn't quite developed the executive functioning skills for that task, it might require a lot more effort on their part. And if it's not in their set of habits that they do every day, it does require them to put forth more effort. So it's harder work for them. So something that you might take for granted because it comes easier might be something that they might need a little support in implementing and getting through those steps. So I wanted to share today a guide that will help you to understand the different executive functioning skills that can impact your child's ability to do their homework independently, especially if you are having a hard time getting them to be independent, getting them to follow through and do good quality work and put forth a good effort on schoolwork. It's called specifically the name of this free guide is Raising Motivated, Self-Sufficient, Organized Kids with Executive Functions. And it just walks through what exactly it is, what are the signs and symptoms that your child is having some issues with executive functioning. I will tell you that it's something that probably most people would need to work on, but obviously if there is some type of medical diagnosis that can have an impact. So ADHD, autism, learning disability, sometimes those can put you at risk for needing some support with executive functioning. But again, this will help you to determine if your child might be showing some of those symptoms, and then it'll break down the specific executive functioning skills so you can determine if this is something that your child might need to work on to help them become independent. The most important thing to remember is that a lot of times these skills, once you pinpoint the area where they need work, if you focus on that area, they can improve and it can have a big impact on their ability to function day to day with a lot of different tasks. So it's a free guide, again, called Raising Motivated, Self-Sufficient, Organized Kids with Executive Functionings, a free ebook that will walk you through the different skills and to help you determine the signs and symptoms so that you can figure out how to support your kids in helping them become more independent. So I have included a link to that executive functioning ebook in the description, and you can sign up for that and check it out.